Hi everyone, welcome to the first chapter of this course. In this section, we are going to be talking about the differences between UI and UX design and the course structure that you can understand how the course is organized in order for you to follow it up properly. And last but not least, we are going to be talking about the tools and requirements that you need to know to proceed the course. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to talk about the differences between UI and UX design. Although both elements are crucial to a product and work closely together, their roles are totally different. UX design is a more technical and analytical field. However, UI design refers to graphic design with more complex responsibilities. So let me give you an example. If you consider a product like a car, the chassis is the code which gives it a clear structure. The other parts such as doors, fuel filter, etc. represent the UX design which lets the car function properly. On the other hand, UI design represents the appearance of the car, its sensors, etc. In other words, UX, which stands for user experience, is about how a product should work, and UI, which stands for user interface, is about how a product should look. So you, as a product designer, should know how these two terms work together and how to distinguish between them. For instance, you should know what are the responsibilities of a UX designer, and on the other hand, what are the responsibilities of a UI designer. As you can see in the pictures, we have two different screens. The left one shows us how the product should work. For example, suppose that you have a screen with two buttons and two text fields. Okay? The UX shows us how these buttons should interact with the user. And the right picture is all about user interface, and it shows us how the product should look. For instance, here we have a button and a square. The UI Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to be talking about the structure of the course. As a matter of fact, you can divide the course into two main sections, the theoretical part and the practical part. The theoretical part creates 10% of the whole course, and the practical part forms 90% of the course content. So instead of focusing on theories, we will focus on practicing the skills you learn by working on different kinds of projects. In the theoretical part, you will learn about design basics, UI elements, business ideas, etc. And in the practical part, we will design a complete mobile application from scratch. We also talk about wireframing, 3D modeling, logo design, and so much more. So if you are a complete beginner, I highly recommend to watch the theoretical part first and then proceed with the course. On the other hand, you can skip the theoretical part and jump into creating a project. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Hi everyone! In this video, we're gonna be talking about the required tools for completing this course. In this course, we are going to use different graphic design tools to design world-class user interfaces together. The main software which we are going to use is called Figma, which is available for both macOS and Windows. You can even use it on your browser without installation. Furthermore, you don't need to pay for it. It's totally free. The other tools that you will learn about are Vectory and Adobe Photoshop. We will also talk about useful websites such as Dribble, Behance, etc. If you don't have any of the above mentioned software, make sure to install them before starting the course. So see you then. Hi everyone, welcome back to another section of this course. In this chapter, we're going to be talking about layouts, iconography, typography, colors, composition, and so much more. If you want to become a professional and great UI UX designer, you need to start off with design basics. So now that you know the importance of knowing design basics, let's start this chapter. Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about layouts in design. When it comes to UI UX design, the way we show the information in an app or website is so important. As a matter of fact, there is not a specific right way to create your own composition. So you can easily create a layout based on your own need as long as it is consistent and understandable to users. As you can see in the pictures on the right, both screens are well designed. Although the spacing is different, the composition is absolutely clear and consistent. You need to pay attention to consistency a lot while you're designing a user interface. No matter what kind of platforms you are designing for, the same rules apply to all of them. Alright, now let's check these pictures out. As you can see in the left picture, the distances are quite consistent. For instance, if you look at the distance between the profile image and the top of the screen, you can realize that the value is 50 pixels. And also the distance between the same profile image and the text field right under that is again 50 pixels. As you can see, the layout of this design is quite clear. And the reason of that is because of the consistency of spacing. In the next lectures, we will also talk about spacing and the importance of that in design. Now, if you look at the right picture, you can realize that the design is also clear in that layout. However, the only difference is Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about visual hierarchy. Visual hierarchy is about how we look at designs. Does it sound weird? So let's put it in another way. We as designers should put ourselves in users' shoes in order to realize how they see our designs. Content in any digital page layout will pursue a particular hierarchy. For instance, menus go to the top, bottom, left, or right of the screen, or a combination of these. Headers appear above body text. In other words, hierarchy is a simple way of staying organized from most to least important. Remember that users define the hierarchy of any app or website. The item that first grabs the user's attention is at the top of the hierarchy. The visual specifications that a designer can utilize to influence users' understanding of the information are size. The larger the element, the more attention it will attract. So if you're familiar with the HTML and web development process, you may know that we have 6 kinds of headers from H1 to H6. H1 is the largest header and H6 is the smallest one. So when we want to get so much attention, we will use H1. For instance, suppose that we want to get the user's attention to a specific section or a specific item. So in that case, we will use the larger header. Or on the other hand, Sometimes we don't want to get so much attention to a specific section or content. In that case, we can use the smaller header. So size is so important. The next item is color. Bright colors are more noticeable than muted ones. If you do not have enough information about colors, you don't have to worry about it, because in the next lessons, we will cover all the necessary information about choosing the right color in your design. The next item is alignment. An element with a different alignment of others will attract more attention. So what does that mean? Suppose that you have a layout of, let's say, 4 different videos or 4 different photos. If you align only one of those videos or those photos differently, it will draw more attention to it. As a matter of fact, in that case, the user can realize that something is different. The next item is contrast. Sharply contrasting colors will catch the eye easily. Contrast is a very important topic in UI design, and we will talk about contrast in next lessons deeply. The next item is proximity. Elements which are placed closely together appear more related, and that's true. If you look at the pictures on the right side, you can see we have 2 different screens. Let's focus on the left screen. As you can see, we have 2 different sections, new promotions and new stories. Can you realize that elements in both sections are placed closely together so that users can easily understand that they are related together? The next item is repetition. Repeating styles can indicate that content is related. So what does that mean? Let's look at the pictures on the right. Can you see that we have 4 squares and 3 circles? So the user can easily recognize the relationship between those elements. And the next item is white space, which is another important term in UI UX design. More space between elements will draw more attention to them. So let's look at the pictures on the right, but this time we need to distinguish between the left screen and the right screen. As you can see in the left screen, we have enough space, or let's say enough Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about visual noise in design. Visual noise, as you can guess from its title, is all about a screen or part of a digital product which has so much information and many elements on it. When you're designing an app or a website, you need to pay attention to details a lot, because by the end of the day, we want to design a screen which is user-friendly and easy to walk through. So make sure to eliminate all the unnecessary elements or information from your screen. If you're not sure whether your design has visual noise or not, it is recommended to ask for users' feedback. If you look at the pictures on the right side, you can see that we have 2 different screens. In the left screen, there is no visual noise, and it is great in terms of UI design. On the other hand, in the right screen, there is too much visual noise. As you can see, there are so many texts at the top, and then some items which could be videos or photos, then again some videos, and after that some stories. And you can recognize that there is not enough white space between those elements. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Hi, in this video we're going to be talking about iconography in design. Iconography is a visual language used to demonstrate aspects, content, or functionality. Icons are meant to be simple and clear, visual elements that are recognizable immediately. You do not have to redesign well-known icons such as home icon, search icon, etc. Or let's say, do not reinvent the wheel. You can get access to almost all kinds of icons on websites for free or at reasonable costs. But what if you needed to design some icons specifically for your project? Well, in that case, you should design icons which are in harmony with your design and other icons. Keep in mind that icons need to be understood easily by users, so make sure to show consistency in your design. Hi, in this video we are going to talk about typography. What is typography? Typography transforms language into a decorative visual element. Typography is one of the most important parts of UI/UX design, so it is worth your time to learn more about it. When you're designing an app or a website, limit the number of typefaces and sizes you use in order to keep your design simple. Start with 2 fonts at most, one for the headers and the other for the bodies. You can use free or paid fonts in your projects, but I highly recommend using free fonts. If you would like to use paid fonts, check the license carefully. You should inform your clients that they need to pay extra for using paid fonts. Now if you look at the right side of the screen, you can see that I classified the typography foundation for you. Let's check it out step by step. Right at the top, we have properties. Every text line in any program has a baseline. As you can see, it is indicated here with the blue line. And also, it has the letter spacing that you can modify it in your design. Of course, there are more properties related to typography. However, for proceeding this course, it is enough to know these 2 properties. Now let's focus on letter spacing comparison. On the left, you can see we have the default spacing. But on the right, I modified the spacing of those letters. Depending on what kind of project you are working on, you can modify the letter spacing as you wish. Now let's talk about the weight of each font. Most fonts have at least 3 different weights, but some of them have more. For instance, a font can have 6 different weights. As you can see on your screen, we have here from light to bold. And last but not least, the classification of fonts. As you can see, we have 2 different classifications for fonts. The serif, which is the left one in the picture, and the sans serif, which is the right one in the picture. So what is the difference? For sure you can distinguish between them, but let me explain to you in order to memorize the rule of serif and sans serif. Actually, serif fonts have some kind of flat line at the top of them and also the bottom of them. Or you can say they have feet. On the other hand, sans serif fonts do not have this kind of lines. Sans in English and French means without. So sans Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to be talking about color contrast, which is a very important topic when it comes to UI design. Applying colors effectively is a skill that everyone who works with visual compositions must have. So you as a UI designer need to know how to use colors in your projects. When it comes to applying colors, readability and legibility are the key factors. Researchers have shown that vibrant colors enable enough of contrast, helping to increase readability and legibility. Please take into consideration that too much color contrast may cause difficulty in reading. I highly recommend that designers should create a mid-level of contrast, and for highlighting elements they can use high contrasting colors. You can also use websites to provide you with a ratio when comparing two colors to see whether there is enough contrast or not. If you look at the examples on the right, we have 6 different colors. As you can see, the first 4 are acceptable and have enough contrast, but the others are not readable. So when we are designing a user interface, we need to pay attention to colors a lot, because sometimes you as a designer Hi everyone! In this lesson, we're going to be talking about color palette. Creating a color scheme for a product might seem like a hard task, especially if you are a beginner. However, in reality, it's not as complicated as many designers think. What is a color scheme? UI color scheme is a mixture of colors used in your user interface. Almost every color scheme contains the following groups of colors: primary colors, secondary colors, accent colors, neutrals, semantic colors. What are the primary and secondary colors? Primary and secondary colors are the base colors of your user interface. The colors which are used most frequently in your UI design are called primary colors. Most designers usually choose brand colors as primary colors. As a matter of fact, it's recommended to have no more than 3 primary colors. Optionally, you can use secondary colors in order to distinguish your products and make more interesting UI designs. Alright, but how to choose colors properly? When you're working with colors, you should not create a combination of random colors, because the result would not be the one you expect. In order to understand how to work with colors, first you need to know what the color wheel is and how it works. Here are important color combinations you need to know. Complementary, which are 2 colors that are on opposite sides of the color wheel. And the next one is monochromatic, which are 3 shades, tones, and tints of one base color. And the last one is analogous, which are 3 colors that are side by side on the color wheel. If you look at the right side of the picture, you can see that we have a color wheel here. As you can see, we have monochromatic. For example, if you look at the red, we have 3 different shades or Hi everyone! Welcome back to another lesson of this course. In this video, we're going to be talking about spacing in design. Consistency plays a key role in UI design. So when you're designing, you need to measure everything and keep it consistent. As a designer, spacing is up to you, but once you set it, you need to use the same spacing patterns in your designs. For instance, if you set the spacing between the header and body text to 8 pixels, you should always use the same spacing throughout your project. As you can see in the picture, all the spacing has been measured accurately, and it makes the design clearer. For instance, if you look at the picture, you can see that we have 50 pixels from the top to new pictures title, and then 8 pixels from new pictures to the top of subtitle, and going on and on. So in order to keep your design clear, make sure that you use consistent spacing patterns throughout your project. Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about composition in design. What is the golden ratio? The golden ratio is a mathematical proportion between the elements of different sizes, which is thought to be the most aesthetically pleasing proportion for human eyes. The golden ratio equals 1 to 1.618, and it's usually illustrated with seashell-shaped spirals. This number was used in creating proportions for architecture, paintings, photography, design, etc. But how to use the golden ratio in your design? If you have a screen with the width of 1200 pixels, you need to divide it by 1.618, and the result will be 741.6, and now we can say 1200 pixels minus 741 equals to 459. So we have two sections with the width of 741 pixels and 459 pixels. As you can see on the right side of screen, here we have a screenshot of the Medium website. Can you see how it has been designed based on the golden ratio so it can get the user's attention to the right place at the right time? In this video, we're going to talk about design guide. What is a design guide? A design guide is a system that can help you to keep your design consistent. It can also accelerate your design process. The examples you're looking at are only a few components that can be used in your design guide. There are lots of things that can be included in your design guide, such as UI elements, typography, iconography, sizing and spacing, color palettes, etc. So having a design guide makes your life much easier. Hi everyone. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about fonts in design. As a designer, you always work with different fonts, so you need to know how to use them properly. As it was mentioned in the typography section, it is recommended to work with 2 different fonts at most to keep your UI simple. What are the best fonts for UI design? Number 1, San Francisco. It is best for modern websites and mobile apps. Number 2, Open Sans. It is best for websites and mobile apps. Number 3, Montserrat. It is best for minimal websites and mobile apps. Number 4, Proxima Nova. It is great for modern, content-centric websites and mobile apps. And last but not least, Roboto. It is best for modern websites and mobile apps as well. Hey everyone! In this video, we are going to be talking about colors. Applying colors to your UI elements is one of the most crucial parts of the UI design process. Do you remember what was playing a key role in UI designing? You're right, consistency. So you need to keep your colors consistent as well. For instance, if you apply blue to titles on one page, you need to apply the same color to titles on other pages. Or if you apply red to a purchase button, you should use the same color for any other purchase buttons on other pages. This is why we need a design guide and a style guide. If you look at the picture on your right, you can see that we used a specific black color for titles, and we use a specific color for our buttons, etc. So it is so important to keep your colors consistent. Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about icons in design. You may think that working with icons is an easy part of the UI design. However, if you do not pay attention to details, you will not get an appropriate result. Here are some important points that you need to take care of. Number 1. Test scalability. Check if your icons can still be recognized at small sizes, such as 15 by 15 pixels. Number 2. Properly sized. The recommended target size for touchscreen objects is 7 to 10 millimeters. Also remember to add padding between icons to prevent incorrect taps. Number 3. Internal consistency. Use the same color scheme for all icons and also the same styling attributes, such as the size of borders. Number 4. Perfect alignment. Always try to have perfect alignment in iconography, but sometimes, because you have icons with different sizes, you need to balance them by yourself. If you look at the picture on your right, you can see that we have two different groups of icons. In the left group, you can see that we have consistent iconography because we only use outline icons. But on the other hand, hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about consistency of UI elements. One of the things that you always work with while you're designing a user interface is a UI element. What are the UI elements? Buttons, cards, text fields, sliders, dialogues, charts, steps, tables, selection controls, menus, snack bars, etc. As you can see in the picture, I chose only some of them for you because certainly I could not put all of them here. However, you will learn about almost all of them in the UI elements chapter. Hey everyone! In this video, we're going to be talking about font resources. Sometimes choosing the right fonts for your projects could be tricky and time consuming. So in this part, you're gonna know about the best online resources to get your fonts easily. The first website is called Google Fonts, which is so famous and you can find free fonts there. The second website is called My Fonts and you can find free and paid fonts there. And last but not least, you can check out the Adobe Fonts website, which you can find paid fonts there. If you're having troubles with pairing fonts, you can also use TypeWolf or FontPair. Hi everyone! In this lesson, we're going to be talking about color resources. Now it's time to look for our colors in order to use them in our projects. Most of the time, finding good colors is a difficult task for UI designers, especially if you are a beginner. Here are some absolutely useful resources for finding colors. Number 1, Color Hunt. Number 2, Adobe Color, which is so useful by the way. Number 3, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Coolers or Colors. Number 4, Web Gradients, which is another good website for finding gradients if you're looking for them. Make sure to spend enough time finding the best possible color palette for your projects. Hey everyone! In this video, we are going to be talking about icon resources for your design project. As mentioned before, iconography is an essential part of the UI design process, and it is so important to know where you can find engaging and standard icons. Here are some useful resources for finding icons. Number 1, flat icon, which you can find paid or free icons there. Number 2, Icon Finder, which is another good website for finding icons. And last but not least, Nucleo, which is an application and it gathers all the icons for you in one place. Remember that you should use the icons which are easy to recognize by users. So take your time and check out all the available icons that you may want to use in your project. Hi everyone, welcome back to another section of this course. In this section, we're going to be talking about Figma. What is Figma? Figma is an interface design tool that runs in the browser. It gives you all the necessary tools for designing a world-class user interface. But it's actually much more than that. Because of the fact that Figma in its nature is an always online tool, it allows for live and real-time collaboration, which is a fantastic feature. Although Figma is browser-based, there are desktop versions for both Windows and Mac OS. I will show you how you could use both browser and desktop versions in the next video. Unlike other tools such as Sketch, Figma is free to use unless you need to create more than 3 projects. You can create unlimited pages and files in the free version. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next video.
I got nothing to worry about when you're by my side.